Hello, Kuzcopia here, professional game dev and hobby author of quite a few books, and today we'll be talking about Lift, a comedy heist movie starring Kevin Hart. I've been meaning to get to it, but it's a slog to even think about. However, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to forget the plot, which means I would need to watch it again and like anything but that. Yeah, folks, this is going to be my first negative review. And if you're not aware, here's how we review movies. We put them all on a suggestion grade scale, making use of the plus and minus as a subgrade that we add to the movies. We start with the equivalent to an S, must rewatch, followed then by a must watch, can rewatch, can watch, should not rewatch, should not watch, do not rewatch, and do not watch, which I would call trash grade. So first of all, let me hit you with a quick preamble, my general take on Kevin Hart. His modus operandi has ever been good vibes, good attitude, happiness, joy, and a non-threatening charisma that Hollywood loves to see in Black American men. This is astoundingly unique for someone who came up in the Boston, New York comedy scene alongside the industry's ball-breakiest of comedians like Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neal.
These are stories before Kev stopped running the other way. He see me coming. His career was taking off. Now, I don't mind that. I don't mind that because his career is important. But when I see you and I come walking towards you and he sees white people near him, he runs.
Outside of angry comedians who ceased to be or were never affiliated with Hollywood, no one has anything bad to say about him ever, far as I know. And even most non-affiliated. He seems to like his fans and his fans him. Same with Pierce. He's very similar to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a favorite co-star if interviews are to be believed, in that he maintains a public persona of positivity and a cadre of roles that see him as a good guy first of all. Lots of differences other than that, of course. Hart will play the fool and the clown and the incompetent. He'll play the beta, the gamma, and the omega, and even the alpha if the stars align, which I guess you can say they did for this movie. The movie we are about to discuss came out on the tail end of, I believe, the biggest moment of Kevin Hart hate we've seen during his long-lasting career. Indeed, the promotion of Lift is exactly how Hart responded to the record-breaking podcast episode, which feature moment consisted of comedy legend Cat Williams railing on him with the worst descriptions of selling out one can imagine. And in this video, we see how I think that strategy panned out for him. Before I start being negative, I would like to say that his Netflix miniseries True Story is actually a well-written and performed dark comedy thriller that I enjoyed watching quite a bit. An easy can watch, must watch if you like the genre because the twist is surprisingly good. Alright, let's get into it. The Erection, or Direction, whichever spelling you prefer. I would say this is the best part of the movie and what salvages its dedicated intent to fall under the mediocrity of indisputable floppiness. It's still that for me, but I mean in history records. Felix Gary Gray is an utter legend of the medium. Notably, this wasn't his first foray into a heist movie since he directed Italian Job. The audience will have an easy time keeping up with all the action and all the more complex aspect of the heists, even without the idiotic exposition explaining them. The set pieces are cool and visually striking in a way that is very characteristic of a movie titled Lift. Example, planes. It also showcases beautiful exotic filming locations, which is nowadays a huge plus, when mostly what we get nowadays is a green screen world with poor lighting. A lot of camera work aids in, and sometimes is an absolute necessity too, the comedy bits, few as they might be. High marks from this layman. I didn't know it was this guy or the full extent of his filmography, but it makes sense. Man knows his stuff and it does show. Wish I could say the same about the rest of the team. Music and sound, whatever, who cares, I don't know. Cast, and do forgive any bad pronunciation. I'll start with the best, Vincent D'Onofrio as Denton, an actor extraordinaire supposed to be eccentric and the second most important guy in this heist team. He plays a good part in the opening heist and offers Hart what is, in my opinion, the funniest, most personable scene in the movie. But that's it. More on how not important he actually is later, Ursula Corbero is Camila, the driver and pilot and sailor of anything that might be needed to get away from a crime scene. She's super funny in this actually, but character-wise, just a thrill seeker who does fantasy shit with planes while always making sure she tells people it's impossible. It's fine. Billy Magnuson is handy action man called Magnus, yawn. He just wants to be cool and do cool stuff. I mean, he's the very quirky safe cracker. Then we got a hacker and an engineer. Do not remember what they're about, but the hacker is important obviously, and as you can expect, supernatural. Gugu Mbatha Raw is Abby, the beautiful romantic interest who's at odds with Hart Cyrus. She's the cop, he's the criminal, and they had a fling, but now they have to work together. She's a better actress, but he's more at ease and funnier in the small scenes where he gets to be that. However, the chemistry between them needs to be imagined by the audience, as do their characters. What I mean by that is that the audience needs to imagine the energy and essence of the career criminal and international cop, because neither of them show it in the slightest. She has no trait one could find in a career law person. No lawful rigor, no years of horror-induced jadedness or apathy or lack of sympathy for the public or lack of impatience for the public or sheer hate for the public and criminals most of all. I can say the same about him. No distrust or even the slightest of trust issues or ambiguous morality or impetus for betrayal and look out for number one. Anything. He's a hero mastermind and she's a super cop super into him, and we don't know why, but there's no way those characters match with what we're told Cyrus and Abby are supposed to be, career-wise, life choices-wise. What we see is not what we're told we're getting. It's very jarring. Some other people are in it. Jean Reno is the very bad arms dealer or drug trafficker or whatever he was. He is the main villain. I forget anything else that might be of note but probably isn't. What can I say in general? Actors took the paycheck and showed up and did the work they were paid to do as the professionals they are. Whether they did the best they could or phoned it in, I can't possibly tell. If someone tried to phone it in, direction and dialogue didn't allow them to. If someone did the best they could, I didn't notice. Except for Vincent. Suffice it to say though, everyone here had very little to work with. Which brings us to the writing. Brother, what can I even say? There's one guy credited for this movie, Daniel Conca, and check this out. Did you see that cast? Did you see that director? Kevin Hart, $100 million movie? Daniel Conca has only one other credit, 12 Rounds, a 2009 movie with John Cena that I never heard of. And little wonder at that, since it was financed by the WWE at 23+ million, it made less than 20. Pretty much a bomb. One 2009 movie and one 2024, and some projects I guess and it's coming up, I don't know, but nothing else. I thought this guy had to be a pseudonym, but no, I looked him up and there's a picture and some written interviews in blogs. Seems to be a real guy. I don't know what the hell this is about. Not to hate on the guy, he's clearly better known than I am, but for this amount of investment? Just weird. From my understanding, I guess he's a screenwriter who's managed to sell some scripts, which I guess is one way movies get made. You know, a movie company just has a stacks of scripts, someone reads one, likes it, then buys it, and then produces a movie for it. But one of this profile? I guess a Netflix producer managed to convince someone to sign Kevin Hart to it, and we're off to the races? I don't know. This is just really freaking weird and makes me think about movies as money laundering schemes. I mean, that's the thing with paintings and books, right? So it's gotta happen with movies. And in that case, I guess you'd want some random script you can get for cheap with minimal royalties, which won't ruin an IP. And now in the streaming era, you can just put it on streaming. There's no way anybody can find out what a flop it is. That's how much I don't like this. I'm here inventing cockamamie theories to try and make sense of how bad it is. Anyway, I'm just going to stop and talk about my issues with the story and with the writing. So, there are two types of heist movies. Ones that feature only the one heist and ones that feature more than one. Typically, you get the one heist when you're spending the movie putting the team together. But when you already have your ensemble, or most of it, then you want an opening heist to showcase their abilities. Hashtag not all, yes, nitpicking nitwits, yes. Anyway, we get two heists in this movie, is my point, and the first one is actually the more interesting, which pains me to say because it's stealing an NFT. Nobody's even gonna know what that is in 5 years. They steal their way into an auction, buy an NFT for a ridiculous amount, take the NFT user with them without letting him know they're actually kidnapping him. That goes out to the news though, which makes his NFT worth all that much more. So they buy it from him, sell it for 4 plus the amount, give him a cut, and then return him, all for the sake of art appreciation and conservation actually somehow. Whatever is meant by this.
Leonardo da Vinci sold the Mona Lisa for $25,000. Nobody gave a shit about her for 400 years until someone stole it.
Yeah, okay, I mean, is this not immediately insane? Not even Robin Hood is so mind-numbingly good-natured and well-intentioned, convolutedly genius about being the greatest Samaritan boon to the art world. The trade-off of risk-effort for gain here is insane when you consider the money's not the gain, but actually glazing up art pieces and its weird authors.
So you're thieves.
We rescue works of art from undeserving owners.
And NFTs, bro, NFTs. So Interpol, Abby is there for the first heist, by the way. She apparently leads art theft department and pursues Cyrus and fails to catch him and is oh so upset, especially when she gets a gloating letter letting everyone know they used to be an item. Interpol gets wind of Reno's villain character doing a large gold transfer for a crime syndicate of some kind, and they want best thief in the world, Cyrus!
AKA Cyrus the Virus.
They want Cyrus to take it from him so Dan is in trouble or something. I guess the cops' plan makes sense if you squint really hard, but they make Abby convince him because she's his ex, so she goes and offers him amnesty. But alright, let's get past the huge conflict of interest and issues with personal relationships involved in a situation like this, the screwed up amnesty deal. I mean, no regular audience member would bat an eye at any of that, right? It's pretty common staples of the genre. But like Cyrus
Cyrus is a poster child for the criminally insane.
he does the first heist and just lamaus his way to safety and dozens of millions in profit. But then he's suddenly checkmated and is screwed and arrested unless he helps with this heist. I guess his friend Vincent, leads her to him, but it's just so... This never happened before. Why is this like they don't have a plan for this? The stuff they have plans for in this movie, and this is not a situation. The actor that they leave behind in the scene getting captured. Of course, great guy that he is, Cyrus.
What's the in-flight movie today?
Well, I think you'll like it, Cyrus. It's called I'll Never Make Love to a Woman on the Beach Again.
Immediately tells his crew to bolt. Look at this.
I told you guys when you first joined the crew that I would never let you walk into certain danger. I'm telling you all to walk away.
No, not
We're
that.
dealing with a guy who's willing to kill whatever gets in his way. I'm sorry, it's too much of a risk.
Do you see what I mean? Is this just like an anti-Kevin Hart character? His delivery here is just so flat and off-putting. I feel like I'm seeing a university student who just started acting. Put some feeling into it, you're a superstar! Soon after, we get the one scene I really vibed with between Vincent and Kevin. Here's a bit.
Are you saying I make that face? I've never made a face like
Cuz?
Nobody makes that face. All right, how about you stop? Let's stop. You're being stupid.
Now look at her.
You want me to look? Look like a damn creep. Proud of yourself?
Yes.
Now see, that is some feel real kind of stuff. Even with the by the numbers cliche dialogue, you get a feeling like there's something here, there's something to these characters, kinda cool, kinda personable, but no, it's just a bit of dew off a cactus armpit in the desert of characterization that is this movie. I'm angry. Anyway, they have to steal the plane. What follows is an actually insanely convoluted plan that necessitates a control tower guy to be miraculously, I guess comically, lucky and inexplicably trusted by his superiors. It also needs our witch hacker to do some serious mumbo-jumbo magic with our computers. Witch hacker is a play on witch doctor, by the way, and not a gender dig at the lady, alright? Our supernatural pilot proceeds to do fantastic things with the plane. Magnus is doing wicked voodoo with guns and safes and whatnot. Vincent does this.
Of course. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it?
I was wondering if it's this button right here.
Yes.
Push.
This button.
This button here.
That's it. Denton, master of disguise, actor of the group, mentor, oldest guy in the gang. This is what he does for the main heist for 2/3 of the movie. So then we get some slap fights ruining some kick-ass set pieces. I mean, look at the... Ugh. Ugh. Alright, so then what? We're transitioning into the part where I started dozing off, to be honest. The witch hacker sets up a secret recording, to be fair, in a well enough foreshadowed way. Meanwhile, the big bad cop acts like a big bad cop, yells at people, tries to kill our guys, including Abby. When Abby finds out about this, she gets so mad she quits the force and joins our art thief. This is how dedicated she was to the law, by the way, and her goals, her duty, her mission, that she was so affronted by at the start when it wasn't respected.
I know you think the art division is some kind of third-rate department.
It is.
But you do not get to come in here and wipe out a year of my work.
This is how strongly she feels. She immediately just ends up joining the direct enemy of all her goals. But then, how could Cyrus?
Welcome to Con Air.
How could Cyrus ever be the direct enemy of her life goals, or anybody's really? He steals the gold, which is going to use to buy more art for the sake of its preservation and appreciation. Which is all he wants to do, really, to help people, to help art. This is what we do, right? We rob art pieces to save them. Look how much I care about this. Look at me, look at my face, listen to my voice. I really care. No, you don't. None of you do. One of you wasn't even useful at all, and he was the most charismatic mother lover in the team. And the super Interpol cop just wanted to blast up a bunch of people on record. Cops don't care about the law, the crime, or what's right. Thieves don't care about watching their own back and their individual desires. These thieves, they're in it for each other, man, like soldiers fighting side by side in Normandy. Okay, hold on. Let's be fair. Take my criticism with a tiny bit grain of salt, because I fell asleep somewhere when the plane was barrel rolling and woke up when they were springing a secret recording on Reno. This is because from the moment Cyrus...
Anara.
From the moment Cyrus explained the NFT thing, I suspected very strongly that nothing bad was ever going to happen. And I don't mean that nothing bad would happen to him and his team, although ultimately I also mean that, but I mostly mean nothing bad would be done by anyone in his team, most of all him. And then I was very certain when that moment with his team came around that I can only call virtue signaling, where he was like, "You guys are going back home! And I mean it, period!" And then they immediately say that they won't, and he's like, okay, alright, I get it, everyone is awesome and cool and loyal and great, and they all just want all art to be okay and pure and appreciated, and they want each other to be great and pure and appreciated, and... Even the guy in the control tower, he's introduced as a care-for-nobody sleazebag that might betray them at the slightest difficulty. He goes beyond the Call of Duty. He celebrates super happily when they succeed. These guys are stealing a plane with a hacker plane, facing off against trained killer mercenaries, almost getting blown up out of the sky, all to screw over a super powerful international criminal maniac and the organization he's servicing, and several steps of the plan go a bit wrong to up the ante, and still they manage, through the effort of acting and character writing, to suck the ongoing situations of any tension, thrill, or interest. You can blame it a little bit on the action, and a bit on Kevin, to be honest, but most of it I would put on the writing. Do any of these guys have families, dreams, wants, desires, anything other than a massive hard-on for Cyrus?
What is going on?
For Cyrus and his incredible, unbelievably unrelatable motivations. So yeah, guys, let's rank the movie. Let's rank the movie. We need to rank the movie because this is a review and we need to rank the movie. So we're gonna rank the movie, and I rank this as a should not watch. Straight up E. Just skip it. Bloody hell. Spiritless is what I would call it, and a masterclass of characters so uninspiring in their supernatural abilities that the actors could barely bring them personality and interest. I do have to personally criticize Kevin Hart though. When you are the superstar in a project built around you, presumably for you, the biggest name and the biggest draw, you gotta do better than this. Usually, I would think he would have a lot to say in what his lines are and even what his character is. At least I hear a lot of stories about main actors changing their characters incredibly, for better or for worse. I don't know him. I don't know if he would, could, or did. But if he is responsible for the character of Cyrus...
Cyrus! What?
Not that one. If he's responsible for him in any way, then it was definitely for the worse. Double tapping the criticism, understand that it's not like we've seen better from him, but that we've only seen better from him. If you want a legacy like that of Sandler, Murphy, Carey, and so on, you cannot do this shit. Even their bombs have entertainment factor and always their character. When Samuel L. Jackson makes snakes on a plane or gets eaten by a shark, he's worth the price of admission. So anyway, to conclude, whatever is here that you might momentarily enjoy, I already showed you in this video. A few seconds here and there in the one exchange. I can unequivocally state you'll be more entertained just watching the promotional interviews with the cast featuring Hart than watching this movie. And those are free. Well, if you have Netflix, I guess it's not too expensive to watch. It was fun to get mad. It was fun to get a little bit pissy. Yeah, that's a negative review out of the way. Hope you guys had fun and have a nice week. Take care, be well. KuzCopia out.